Welcome back
to Hats Off.
We'll get a theme song.
We'll get there eventually. All right, so this episode we are going to be talking about Disney. We love Disney. And we're going to be talking about the first 3 Disney princesses. There we go. I'm on the right page. So the first princess, of course,
the OG Princess
of the OG princess of the full-length featured animated films.
Yes.
Was Snow White.
Yep. Followed by Cinderella. Followed by Sleeping Beauty.
Yes. And
we are basing these solely off of the animated films. We know that a lot of these have different iterations in their live-action senses. So if you look at the animated version of Sleeping Beauty and then go watch Maleficent, very different character arcs for each of them. So we're basing this off of what Disney wanted their princesses to be like off of their original animated warning. Also, as a warning for every episode with this podcast of Hats Off, contains adult content and foul language.
And mature themes.
Basically,
we're potty mouths with the brains of, middle schoolers.
Yeah. And spoiler warnings for those who may, for some reason, have not seen these movies. We will also be getting some information from Harry Potter movies and characters. So if you haven't seen Harry Potter or whatever, you've been warned.
Yeah.
So, let's hop into it with number 1.
Snow White.
I hate this princess the most.
I agree.
She's awful.
I kind of agree.
She's a little boring. Just a little bit. I don't mind her though. Okay. So, as always, I am the history fact nerd. Snow White, before we get into the summary, was released in February 14th of 1938. Mm-hmm. It is set in the 19th century in Germany, which we know because it is based on a story by the Brothers Grimm.
Which all of these are, I believe.
No.
Not all of them?
You were wrong. That was the only one of the 3 that's based by the Brothers Grimm.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought Sleeping Beauty was the Brothers Grimm movie.
Nope.
I knew Cinderella wasn't, but I could have sworn Sleeping Beauty was. Okay, my bad. That's why.
That's a popular thing with Disney movies.
A lot of Disney movies are at least based off of Grimm.
A few of them, but a lot of them too are based off, because Cinderella, the Brothers Grimm did a Cinderella story, but theirs is different from the version that these guys base it off of, which is by we're gonna say it again later. Where did it go? Which is by Charles Perrault.
Oh, I've heard that name before.
Yes.
Okay.
And we're gonna get into that too, but that was actually based off another story, which is based off another story, and the original story can be linked to a couple different places, but one of the places that it started is in China.
Really?
Yeah, which explains the shoe thing. Because they did the foot binding. So the whole thing was that Cinderella's feet were so small because she bound them so tiny that no one could fit. Yeah. Which is why that made more sense in the original story than it does in the modern version, where you're wouldn't a lot of people have the same shoe size as this girl?
Well, to be fair, we'll get into Cinderella later. I have some issues with that shoe.
Yeah, well, it could be a magic shoe, to be fair.
I have other issues other than the fact that it doesn't break on a concrete floor, but it breaks when it drops 3 feet.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about.
We're gonna get into that later.
We're starting with Snow White, which is 19th century Germany, based on a story by the Brothers Grimm, and released in 1938.
Woo.
General summary.
Let's do it. So this movie starts off with my wife and I were watching this. She mentioned it. I love it. They start off the original 3 with a storybook opening saying, so back in the day, this happened. So basically, Snow White, poor princess. Her father, the king, hella dead.
Yeah.
The queen is petty and jealous AF at the fact that the princess is more beautiful than her, which leads to some shit. She has a magic mirror, which has some creature, I believe, enslaved in it that tells her what she doesn't want to hear. That Snow White is definitely better than you, bitch. Sorry. She sends a hunter to kill the princess. The hunter can't do it. Lets the princess, Snow White, run into the forest. She has a lot of animal friends, which is a Disney princess requirement, I guess would be the best way to
Animal
put it.
sidekicks.
If you can't talk to animals, you can't be a princess. Sorry, that's it. Bye. So she finds a cabin in the woods. She thinks a bunch of children own it because of how small the beds are. She walks in, cleans the fucking house for no goddamn reason.
Dude, I literally, so I take my notes through a voice recording because I don't have the patience to sit down and like write notes and watch the movie. I have to do it audibly while I'm doing something else.
Right.
And I literally was like listening to it back, and that part I just like was like, this bitch just walked into this person's house. I don't care if the door is unlocked, and if you think that
Nobody's home, the door's unlocked. Let's go in.
don't come into my house.
I'm not gonna be mad if someone goes into my house and cleans it for me, though. Like, I'll
A
leave my door open.
stranger?
Yeah, it's clean the fucking way. Do the dishes. Do it all. I don't care.
She literally walks into these people's house. To be fair, she thinks a bunch of children live there. She doesn't see any bed bigger than maybe 3 or 4 feet. She thinks it's a child or a group of children, so she cleans and she cooks with the help of her armada of animals and fauna held up in the sink, and they think someone stole them.
My favorite is one of them goes, someone hid them in the cupboard.
The fuck is wrong with you guys?
Bitch, they belong in the cupboards.
So then they send Dopey Pipe up the stairs to see what's in their room. Turns out it's a female. She then agrees to keep house for them and cook for them while they're out working the mines every day. Don't ask me why. They were about to kill her until they found out she could cook and clean.
Yeah.
Literally, it was more cook. They didn't care about being
Like,
clean.
oh, you can cook? We'll let you live.
Yeah.
Make us some grub. Let's go.
Yeah.
Evil Queen turns herself into an old lady, makes a poisonous apple. Snow White's dumb as fuck takes a bite of the apple, and dies.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the prince comes and rescues her with true love's kiss.
Oh,
and the evil queen gets shoved off a cliff.
and she gets not shoved. You
No.
think she gets shoved?
She doesn't get shoved. She
Lightning
falls.
strikes the land she's standing on. Nature murders this bitch.
Divine intervention.
Wow.
Yeah.
She was about to kill all the dwarves with a giant ass boulder.
This is true.
Oh,
I actually
yeah,
have that down as a note. But yeah. Yeah.
That's the basis of the story, except for the 2 seconds the prince is with her singing when he first meets her, and then he comes back and kisses her while she's dead. I'll talk about that later.
Yeah, Disney, not a good choice.
We'll talk about that. This is in the
Yeah.
30s. We'll talk about that in a minute.
We'll talk about that when we get
In
to the prince.
length, trust me.
First of all, the first character we're going to start with today is Snow White.
Titular character, let's go.
And I will say to her defense, because we did call her dumb like a few times just now, she was only 14 years old.
Okay, she was 14.
She was a dumb 14-year-old.
But she was still the dumbest 14-year-old. She's highly gullible.
A little bit.
I put this down. Look, I'm just going to tell you what I wrote down for this woman. She loves animals. I will give her the positives first. She loves animals. She's whimsical. She's a dreamer. She believes in wishes. She rhymes no matter what she's saying. Every sentence is a rhyme.
Oh my
It's
God.
great. She never stops singing. Negatives. She never stops singing. She's easily distracted. She does recover from almost dying or almost being murdered very fast.
She does.
She had a knife to her back. 2 seconds later, she's singing in the forest again with her animal friends.
This is true.
Gotta sing about getting stabbed.
This is true.
She is naive, gullible, and extremely trusting of an old lady who is obviously evil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, she definitely just lets her the fuck into her house.
It's like, what is wrong with you?
Like, how did that seem like a good idea to you?
She's also the same person who just walked into a stranger's house and cleaned it. And cooked
Yeah,
it.
she doesn't know
She doesn't think.
boundaries
She
at
doesn't
all.
really think things through
No.
much, if at all.
Um,
So Snow White. That's what I have. What do you guys have? This child.
I kind of was thinking the same thing. I also said naive, skittish, kind.
She's kind.
She is very kind. I also put imaginative
That's
with a
fair.
question mark because I was going to ask about that. I had a question for that. Do you think the part right after she gets murdered, where she's running through the woods and all the things are coming out to get her. Do you think that she imagined that, or do you think that was actually
That was
happening?
definitely in her imagination. That
Okay.
was that I talked about this with my wife when we watched this movie. When we watched it and that happened, I noticed that fear caused her to see everything that was about to kill her. So like while she did get over almost being murdered very quickly, it did hit her very hard to find out that not only a person she knew and trusted was about to stab her in the back, but also find out that the person that she thought she loved and trusted, the queen, sent him to murder her in the first place.
Yeah.
That sent her mind into a downward spiral into that forest.
Yeah.
So I feel like fear can make you see a lot of things. Fear and anxiety make you see a lot of things that aren't really there.
Mm-hmm.
Just in general, almost being murdered by somebody you trusted, being sent them to murder you by someone you also trusted, would definitely send her to that forest thinking she's saying everything, trying to kill her at this point. Because when the two people you know and trust try to kill you, what else can you trust?
This is true.
To be honest. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was definitely in her mind. But
That's what I
can
thought,
understand
too.
why it was there.
Yeah. No, same. That's what I thought too. Because everything that you see that kind of like quotation marks, because you guys can't see them, attacks her is like it's the logs that start out as the logs, and then all of a sudden they're alligators, or it's the trees that are just regular trees until they loom out at her, and then the second she breaks down and starts crying, everything stops.
Yep.
So that's kind of why I was like, okay, wait, this
that is her brain trying to, from what I can tell, her brain trying to cope with the trauma that she has just experienced.
Okay. So what house do you guys think?
Oh, Hufflepuff.
Hufflepuff.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Hufflepuffs. She embodies everything negative about a Hufflepuff. Like, all the bad things that you try to say aren't really you, but are still kind of there, is all she is. And I'm so sorry.
To be fair, she does have some of the better characteristics. She is very hardworking. She cleans that whole house.
She cleans that whole house and cooks and then falls asleep. She's very kind, very trusting, very loyal.
Yes.
She's extremely loyal to the dwarves, saying that she met them 3 seconds ago. Oh, but it's cool. I'll keep your house clean. I'll cook for you while you guys are at work.
Yeah, and also met the love of her life for all of, like, what, a minute?
Less than a minute.
And
they
like
sang
devoted
30 seconds of a song.
They did.
And then disappeared.
So, yeah, it's all the positive characteristics as well, but, like, definitely...
The negative ones are just very glaringly there. And I'm sorry, but she is a hardcore Hufflepuff.
Okay. I agree. That was an easy one.
Next character.
The prince.
Oh, the prince. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Damn.
I think we might have disagreed on this one.
I had to disagree.
Because I know exactly where I'm putting him.
Where are you putting him?
Oh, I'm gonna wait until we're done talking about it, but I have to.
There's not much to say.
Just like, nah, you're mine now. Like, I'm the prince, you're the princess, I guess. Let's go.
Is it ambitious or is it creepy?
It's both.
Both.
Ambitions can be creepy. Just because you are ambitious doesn't mean you're ambitious for good things.
I don't know if it's ambitious, though, because it's not like he, like, set out to find someone to marry. He just, like, found this girl and was like, I'm gonna throw myself at you.
Which I feel could be seen as ambitious. Okay, or not. The next word I have down is forward. He's very forward.
Yes.
Doesn't really care, so like I said, doesn't care about outward appearances. I'll give him that positive. So while the animation in the 30s wasn't good enough to really show her being all disgruntled and not dressed well, it was literally said in the movies that she was. So he doesn't care about outward appearances, obviously. Kisses her while she's quote-unquote dead.
Yes.
Does not know, because, okay, I'm going to compare this again later to Sleeping Beauty. The prince in Sleeping Beauty knows that if he kisses her, she's going to wake up. He does not know this shit.
No, but he was dedicated enough to her to follow after her and try and find her for a year, and it could have been a farewell kiss. Like, I can imagine.
I was unaware of the whole year that he was looking after fucking for
They
her.
said it in the little wordy part that you had to read in the middle of the movie. Which, by the way, there was a wordy part you had to read in the middle of the movie.
Definitely
I'm sure people
missed that.
loved that.
Definitely missed that.
No, yeah, he searched for her for a year.
Okay, that makes more sense. But to quote Star Kid My Loves, it's a little rapey.
Yeah. That.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong, but, like, if, like, obviously the love of my life would be someone that I have met for more than, like, 2 minutes.
Less than 2 minutes.
But if the love of my life was dead on a slab, I would probably give them a goodbye kiss.
Yes. My wife, who I love and have been married to, yes, I would. He met her for 30 seconds. Never saw her again.
This is true. Again,
All I'm saying, it's a tough look for Disney.
Yeah, again.
tiny bit.
Doesn't look great.
A little bit.
What do you got?
Pretty much a lot of the same stuff. He's very brash.
Yes.
Kind of like jumped out of the bushes at her and was like, "Hey, bitch, like I'm here."
Let's do this.
Boom. I did put down that he searched for her for a whole year. So loyalty is something.
That's fair. He was loyal.
He was to this girl he met for 2 minutes. That's all I got really.
I guess you can also call that ambitious. Like, his ambition at this point was to find her and marry her. So he looked for an entire year for this woman.
Ambition and ambitious, though, aren't always synonyms. Like, I have an ambition to do something, but being an ambitious person, I feel like, is more like, I want to go far in life. It's like big goals.
Fair enough. But he has ambition.
I don't know what his big goals are. He just found this girl and fell in love with her. Like, he's very romantic and very dedicated and loyal. I wouldn't necessarily call that ambition.
Agree to disagree.
Okay, so where you, what did you have
What do
down
you
for him?
I think he's basic.
I love it.
You're not wrong.
I didn't watch the movie. Sorry, guys.
You're fine.
From what I recall from watching it, and I think it was maybe, oh god, it's been a while. He wasn't like a character that stood out in the films. Like, everybody loves the dwarves.
Yeah.
He was there for 3 seconds.
Yeah.
He was literally in the movie for like 30 seconds of that movie.
Yeah.
So that's all I can comment on the rapey prince.
You're gonna disagree with me. I'm so sorry.
Where'd you put him?
I definitely put him in Slytherin.
Yeah, no. Where'd you put him?
Gryffindor.
See, I put him in Gryffindor.
Because I think he just wants to be the hero. And like
That's
he's
fair.
doing all of his motives, from what I remember. Again, I haven't seen it recently, but I just remember it being like, oh, he wants to be the hero.
Which is fair. I can definitely see that, and I will happily change my answer. First rewatch after many years of watching it, I will still feel like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't think he didn't come up with any of the plans. He just lost this girl and then couldn't find her for a year, despite the fact that there was a whole like battalion of dwarves that were keeping her safe. And she really didn't go that far. She wasn't in a carriage.
She
wasn't in, like-
literally ran for a minute into the forest.
Exactly. Like, he couldn't find her
A
in a
minute.
She
year.
was in someone's backyard the whole
She
time.
was literally in the backyard of the castle. Well, we don't know how far away from the castle they were because I forgot the dude's name.
The huntsman.
The huntsman, he was told by the queen to take her far so she can look for flowers and then kill her. So she wouldn't be anywhere near the castle at that time. So we're not exactly sure where she starts running for the cabin.
No, but far away is relative, and they didn't have a cart or a horse or anything
That's
along
true. So
those
they definitely
lines.
did a walk. They definitely made it
walked.
on a day's walk.
They made it in a day's walk, and then she ran from there.
A minute.
So it was less than like, at most, it could have been a day and a half walk
Yeah.
that she was away from the castle.
Mhm.
Like, it took you a year, sir?
Maybe he thought she went further than she did. He was looking all around and not looking where she should have been in the middle of the area.
No.
No, he's not smart.
No.
He's definitely not a Ravenclaw.
I wouldn't say Ravenclaw. I wouldn't say Slytherin either.
I would, okay, I can also make an argument for Hufflepuff, but to be fair, everyone in this fucking movie is a Hufflepuff, except for the queen. Like,
He's very, again, he was looking for a year. He's very loyal. He's
very loyal to
hardworking.
her, but again, what were his motives?
I just flashed back to him jumping out the bush at her and singing with her and
That's
like chasing her, and like he was very much bold, brash,
Even when she went
hot-headed.
inside, locked the door, went up to the window, he was still singing at her like he was in a freaking rom-com.
Exactly.
It's so fucking creepy.
It's really creepy.
I'm just
But, like-
thinking of a home invasion where the guy
Like, you're out, picture this, you're out in your garden trying to plant some roses or some shit. A random dude jumps out of your bush, starts singing at you. You run inside, lock the door, and go to your bedroom. He's still outside your window trying to sing at you. What are you about to do?
Also, I forgot to mention this earlier when we introduced the character. On French Disney, they revealed that his name is actually Florian. And we still don't know his age for sure, but people estimate that he is older by quite a bit.
Yeah.
Because they put him at like 19
Yeah.
and she's 14,
Yeah.
which is
I've heard worse.
rough.
It's not great, but it's not terrible.
The age difference is like not the worst thing about this movie.
It's really not. It's really not, but I thought I'd put that out there that, you know, he has a name, and he's
Philippe.
And
The-
Philip
that's
is in Sleeping Beauty.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I thought his name was Philip too because I was like, this dude's name is just the Prince.
no, it was the prince for the longest time, and then finally they named him Florian.
Okay.
So general consensus,
By votes, we gotta go Gryffindor.
you gotta go Gryffindor.
Fair enough. I will concede. Next up is the Queen.
The evil queen.
This bitch.
This bitch.
I'm gonna let you go first, Miss Ronald. That makes you way too happy.
It
I'm
does.
sorry.
Maybe a mistake.
That makes you
You're all
way
working
too
it
happy.
I now pronounce you Mr. and Mrs. Ronald.
Grit.
Dude. Yes. Okay. Anyways,
All right, what do you
moving
have
on.
down for the evil queen?
I put down that she's very clever.
She is extremely clever, I guess.
All
She's
of her
good with
plans-
magic.
All of her plans work. You know what I mean? Like the only reason she even got defeated was divine intervention, like we were talking about earlier. She
Fair.
was gonna crush them with a fucking rock.
That's very quick thinking on her part.
It is, and she found a stick to do it with too, because she knew she couldn't just push it.
Yep.
Like bitch was smart. She knew what she was doing.
Yeah.
And also, her plan would have worked if the lightning hadn't decided, like, die, bitch.
Right there, you're dead. Sorry.
Like, no.
she would have
game
gotten
over.
all that shit.
That was like, it was bad. So, yeah, no, she was very smart. She knew what she was doing. She used all her resources. She was able to get shit done. She's very dramatic.
Yes, she is.
I put very dramatic.
Yes, she is.
Good at manipulation.
Highly.
Like, she knows exactly what the fuck to say. Even when the birds come at her and peck at her, because someone who wasn't so, like, quick thinking might have been like, oh no, her friends don't like me, like, she's gonna think I'm evil. And instead she turned it around to, oh, like, my poor old woman, how many bones, many bones. So, and she like, is able to turn it around. She's
She
able
takes
to...
a situation that would be negative and could very be misconstrued because, again, this woman can talk to animals. Snow White has the ability to communicate with animals, so she would understand what the birds are trying to do. But because she puts on the innocent old woman trick, which, very manipulative, but again, kind of goes to show how dumb Snow White is.
You're not wrong.
Because it wasn't like a bunch of crows that started attacking this woman. It was her friends that helped her clean the house and shit, like 20 minutes ago.
And I don't think she's talking to the animals. I think that's Disney's like rose-colored glasses effect. Like I don't think she's telling the animals to do anything or like understanding them.
I don't think she's understanding them. I think the animals are understanding her because
I
the animals
definitely
take orders.
They definitely take orders from her when she tells them to do stuff when they're cleaning the house.
But we did talk about how like crazy her imagination is. So what if
That's fair, but to be fair, they did still help clean the house.
the house still got clean?
They still got cleaned with their help.
Yes, this is true.
So while she may be able to understand what they're saying, she would at least know that these animals are here to help and protect me, and they're attacking this old woman.
At the same time, though, if you have a dog that maybe doesn't like strangers and you love it and you
That's a
talk
good
to
point.
it and it listens to you, but then it attacks someone, you're not going to be like, you're an evil person. You're going to be like, I'm so sorry my dog attacked you.
Some people might. I know people who trust their dog's intuition so well that if that dog starts barking at you, you are the problem.
But also there are people who would, I would probably be like, I'm so sorry, let me get my dog away from you.
That's definitely me. I
That's
agree.
me too.
Mainly because my mom's dog barks at everyone.
But it's-
Anytime we go to the house, it's just barking. I'm like, it's me. Why the hell are you barking at me? What's wrong with you?
So to be fair to Snow White, that could be what's going on.
That's gonna be the case.
But we're not talking about Snow White. We're still back at the evil queen.
She's quick. She's quick on her feet.
She is.
Very quick on her feet.
So
Vain AF.
Mhm.
So vain that she, I circled this. Hires the huntsman to kill Snow White by any means necessary.
Mhm.
I want you to murder her. I want her out of this kingdom dead.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Because she's pretty.
Because she's pretty, I want to be the prettiest woman. Can we call that an ambition? She wants to be the prettiest woman on the planet.
yeah.
Yeah.
And she is willing to have this woman, this child murdered. 14-year-old child murdered just so she could be the prettiest woman on the planet. Or
Yeah.
at least in the kingdom.
Yeah. As much as I hate to put all the villains in Slytherin,
She is, she was one of the
She
ones
is-
that I went back and forth. She's just a very smart Slytherin.
she's a hella fucking Slytherin.
She's a very smart Slytherin and I hate it. I wanted to put her in Ravenclaw so fucking bad. But I had to go with her motivation, and her motivation was the fact that she really wanted to just be the prettiest woman around.
It is.
And that's her motivation. She's not just doing it because she's smart.
Yeah.
She is hella smart.
She's a clever girl.
She's a clever girl.
Really
but
fucking clever.
That's her ambition, is to just...
Yeah, she...
It sucks. I hate it, but yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's that. I also went ahead and did the dwarves.
Yeah.
They were...
Did we... So we agreed with Slytherin?
Yeah.
Oh, Slytherin. Hardcore Slytherin.
Yeah.
Sadly. She's just a very smart Slytherin.
Okay. So I did Dopey and Grumpy because those are the two that people are going to want to know. I feel like we don't really need to
Or
get into
Doc.
all of them.
Doc
Or
is
Doc.
also there.
Doc, yes.
Which is fair. So let's start off with Dopey, my favorite of the bunch.
Okay.
He is rather brave. I mean, I guess he didn't really want to be the one to have to go up those stairs to see what ghost was in their house. But he still hella did it with the brave face. He's like, all right, I'll go up there, I'll check it out. The only time he screamed was after she actually looked like a goddamn witch about to kill him.
Yeah. Did he scream? I don't think
He
screamed.
actually screamed.
Did he? I don't
He
remember
doesn't
that.
talk at all in the movie.
No.
But when she gets up out of the bed, it looks like a witch or a ghost coming out of the bed in the dark. He actually makes a scream and dodges out of the room and runs into the rest of his voice.
This is true.
But he was a rough one for me to put. He was very loyal to his boys, though.
He was.
Followed their orders, worked with them, even if he couldn't talk. He loved them. What do you got?
I put down slightly dim,
His name is Dopey.
Little
We don't have to be
bit.
super...
but also that could be attributed to the fact that I think he might be younger.
He definitely looks younger.
He looks younger, he acts younger, and all of them kind of shuffle him around and treat him like he's younger.
Oh, yeah.
So that could be part of it.
All
Isn't
the
he
rest
the
of
only
them...
one without a beard?
He's
Yeah.
the only one without a beard and gray hair. He's bald, no beard, and definitely looks younger, even just minus those in the face, because the rest of them definitely have wrinkles on their faces.
Yeah, so I have a feeling
think
he's
just
younger.
like maybe Snow White's age.
Yeah.
In the animation style. He's just very young.
I put him down as sweet
Very.
and also sneaky.
Yes, he is.
This bitch. Oh my god, I love when he jumps back through the window so he can come around for another kiss.
Yes, he did.
And
That was
legitimately,
hilarious.
every single time, up until she's riding away on her white horse with her prince into the sunset. And this bitch goes up and puckers up like she's gonna kiss him. Oh, nice baby boy!
It's hilarious. I love this child.
Oh my god. So yeah, no, but he's sneaky,
Mhm.
and there's a couple different instances of him just kind of like sneaking around and being.
Oh, I know where you put him at this point. Oh, great. I'll accept him. I will accept it. I put Hufflepuff.
What did you put?
I think I did Hufflepuff too.
I put Hufflepuff. He's very loyal to his boys. No matter what danger they're putting him in at the time, he sticks around and he does what he needs to do to help his family.
And Hufflepuff is not like negative.
It's not. I don't view that as a negative thing at all.
No.
One of my favorite comic book characters is Deadpool, and he is a hardcore effing Hufflepuff.
I honestly had a hard time placing him.
I did at first, yeah, for sure.
I could see him in Hufflepuff, but I think I put him in Slytherin.
Yeah.
Just because, like I said, he's sneaky and he's like, I'm gonna get what I want, and I'm a.
Again, well, because okay, look. To be fair, Hufflepuffs and Slytherins can be misconstrued for one another.
This is true. This is true. There's
So
a lot of.
there's no split housings. We gotta land on one.
No, this is true.
I went Hufflepuff because he also shows some bravery in the Line of Fire.
This is well, yeah. Slytherins can be
wait,
brave.
I'm not done. I'm aware. I'm full. Trust me. But he's like, while he can be sneaky, he's again loyal to his family, very loyal to Snow White after being horrified of her. Will stick by her side, loves her to the dear end. And I don't know. I feel like his loyalty kind of just overshadows everything else. To be fair.
Yeah, I could see that.
And that's why I went Hufflepuff, because his loyalty was really a main factor in why he did a lot of the stuff that he did.
I mean, you could say that for all the dwarves.
Well, yeah, all of them are Hufflepuffs in my eyes, except for one of them. I literally put Hufflepuff for every single one of them except for one.
Let me guess.
Grumpy.
Grumpy.
It's the only one that's not Hufflepuff.
See,
Every
I
other one
didn't
is
see
not-
I didn't see Grumpy as Hufflepuff though. Or Slytherin though. I put Grumpy in Gryffindor.
We'll talk about it in a second.
Yeah.
Let's go with Doc.
Well, Dopey,
Oh.
we're saying Hufflepuff?
Yeah.
We're gonna go around Hufflepuff on that
Okay.
one.
I'll
Okay.
concede. So, we're moving on to Doc.
Yep.
Like I said, I didn't have him down, so I don't have a lot for him. I remember him being, he's kind of the leader, he's kind of in charge, stuttery, but like willing to put himself out there and stuff like that. If I had to put him in a house, I'd say Gryffindor.
I can see it, but only I have to disagree with Griffin. Oh, yeah, he is in charge. He is definitely leader, but I feel like he's only leader because he's the oldest.
We don't know that he's the oldest, though.
He definitely looks the oldest.
He has one of the shorter beards, though. I'd assume that like their longer beards are older.
Oh, okay. I forgot who Doc was for a sec.
He's the one with the glasses.
Yeah. I was
Okay,
thinking
look,
Gryffindor.
he's a leader. He's not a great one.
I never said he was a great leader, but he's
not
gonna
great.
step up. He's gonna take charge, and
Because I gotta say, none of these guys are really great.
I love the dwarves.
I'm not a big. They don't. Okay. They live in the forest for who knows how long.
Yeah.
They don't know how to wash their goddamn hands.
Yeah, well, they've never done it before.
Apparently. Doc. Okay, here's the thing. Doc is also, while he's the leader, he is also the first one to say, I'm not going up those goddamn stairs. We're sending somebody else.
Yeah.
He's literally the one that's like, I don't want to do that. He sends everybody else in the house before he goes. When they get to the house, he gets up to the window. He's like, we should be quiet. Let's go inside. But I'm definitely not going to be the first one in.
Well, yeah, but Gryffindors don't have to be brave 100% of the time.
Yes, but it is a big enough part of their culture, I would say, that it needs to be there.
Self-preservation is what they are known for.
He needs to be there at least some of the time. He's not brave at all throughout this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. He
He-
jumps in to protect Snow White. He jumps in to attack the queen.
He
Like the rest
jumps
of
in
the
to
dwarves.
attack the queen only when it's him and all of them. He's not going to be the one to make the sacrifice play. He's not Tony Stark.
I just saw him as a lot more brash and bold than the other ones. He's the first one to speak up. He speaks for all of them for the most part, even with the stutter too, which can be
Yeah.
hard
That
to
is
speak
rough.
up with a
That is
stutter.
very rough. That is true.
and was very much bold in the sense that he's like, I'm going to speak for my brothers.
True.
And I did see, like you said, a lot of the dwarves were Hufflepuffs. You can't really get around that. A
5
lot
of them
are
are.
Hufflepuffs. Most of them are Hufflepuffs. I saw Doc as a Gryffindor.
Wait, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2.
There's 7 dwarves.
2. So 4 of them. I'm sorry. At least 4 of them are Hufflepuffs.
Well, we said Dopey is.
Oh,
too.
that's right.
I almost just
Fine.
called them Dobby.
I forgot about. I forgot about Dopey. Yeah.
So 5 of them at least are Hufflepuffs.
Mhm.
I say Doc is a Gryffindor.
What did you say?
I also put Hufflepuff for him.
You're the deciding vote.
I'm gonna put him Slytherin.
Pain in my ass.
God damn
Why?
it! I gotta get this explanation.
Well, the more you were describing it, because again, I haven't seen the fucking movie, but self-preservation is like one of the key qualities of Slytherin. He's clever, he's
True.
brave, which Slytherins can also be. So,
Mhm.
like, the more I was thinking about it, I think Slytherin fits.
That's fair.
You're not wrong.
Because a Slytherin will also attack, because I feel like the main reason they all attacked the princess was their loyalty, which is also where I landed on a lot of them. Their loyalty to Snow White after they saw her dead is like, oh, this bitch just killed her? She about to die.
He was also pretty sneaky with being like, one of us needs to go up and see what it
He's
is.
very
and then we
manipulative.
look over at Dopey.
He's very manipulative. But he's very manipulative. I think I gotta agree with Slytherin.
Yeah, I'll give it to
I
you.
gotta
I'll give it to
agree-
you. That's a
fair.
good.
That's a good call. He's very manipulative when it comes to him self-preservation.
You're not wrong. Alrighty, and last but not least, Grumpy. We kind of got into it already a little bit.
Can't trust a woman.
Can't
Apparently.
trust a woman. They got wild.
They got wild.
I don't know what they are, but they got 'em.
I love Grumpy so much.
I put he's old, superstitious, dramatic,
Highly dramatic.
highly dramatic.
Very anti Snow White.
Yes.
the whole time until towards the end when she starts giving away kisses.
And then all of a sudden, and not only, oh my god, this bitch was like a 12-year-old little boy,
He
where he
was.
took off his hat for the kiss, but then like complained and squirmed through the whole damn
He
thing.
did.
Like, baby, stop it.
That's so true.
Yeah. I put him as Gryffindor.
I went Slytherin.
I think I would probably go Slytherin too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he is probably second in command, I would say, of this whole operation. And was also one of the people that's like, oh yeah, definitely somebody needs to go up there and looks at the youngest child in the room and say,
Yeah.
you're going up. Sorry.
Didn't Ravenclaw say that? What was it?
He's also the smartest one out of all of them, I will say. He is the
Smart.
smartest of the seven.
But something about like most resistant to change or people different than them.
The
That's
Gryffindors.
Gryffindor.
Oh, that's
They are very
Gryffindors.
much against people
That's
different
kind of
than
why
them.
I went with Gryffindors, is most resistant to change.
Oh,
He's kind of that, like,
okay, I can see
old,
Gryffindor
persnickety, like, cranky guy. Because I was going back and forth between Gryffindor and Slytherin. But he's kind of that, like, old, like, grumpy, cranky guy that's like, you know, I'm set in my ways, and I don't want to change for nobody, no how.
A great point. That is a
Yeah.
very accurate description. I
feel
can
that.
concede to Gryffindor on that one.
I feel Gryffindor.
I feel like
Yeah.
I can concede to that.
Okay. Before we move on to the next movie, too, can I just comment? Why are all the dwarves Southern?
Don't ask me. They live in the boondocks. Maybe that's why they live in the boonies. of the
It
woods.
cracks me the fuck up. Okay, what was the next one? It was.
Oh, we also have the huntsman, but I can make that quick. He's a Hufflepuff.
The Huntsman's a Hufflepuff.
I didn't put down the huntsman either.
Like the huntsman's just a straight up Hufflepuff.
Yeah.
The only reason he goes to kill Snow White in the first place, because he definitely doesn't want to.
No, it's
When the
loyalty
queen's
to the
like, I need
queen.
you to take the princess over there, I need you to kill her. He's like, wait, I'm sorry, you want me to kill the princess? I ain't doing that. Sorry, I love the princess. She ain't dying. Do it, or I'm gonna kill you. When would you like, how would you like me to prove her death? Bring me her heart. Cool. He goes out there, takes her, brings the knife, looks like he's about to stab her in the back of the head, can't do it, drops the knife, tells her to run away, and then he goes and grabs a pig's heart, puts it in a box, and gives it to the queen.
Yeah, no.
All so he can protect the princess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a very loyal guy.
He's a
but
very
also
loyal guy.
very self-preserving. He's
That
kind of a
too.
coward. Well, not a coward.
Not necessarily a coward,
not really a
because he
coward,
went against
but
the queen.
He's definitely going with the what's gonna let me get out of here alive.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fair.
But he's also extremely loyal to the princess, even if for a second he flipped because of fear of his own life.
He couldn't do it
I
in
went
the
back and forth
end.
between Hufflepuff and Slytherin for him. For that one reason, the fact that everything he did because he wanted to live.
Yeah. No, I agree. I say Hufflepuff.
So
You agree?
Yeah.